Hey y'all, Pastor Drew here, and back with another daily reflection. Every Sunday through Thursday during the season of Lent, I'm reflecting on the greatest commandment, what it means to love God with all your heart, your soul, your mind, and your strength, and to love your neighbor as yourself. And today is I know I already did one of these about Mr. Rogers, but I've got another one about Mr. Rogers today a little bit. I've been thinking about him again. It's his birthday today on March 20th, and so a lot of people have been sharing posts on social media or whatever, so you can see my icon of Fred Rogers here from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And then I also have this cool book that's called The World According to Mr. Rogers, Important Things to Remember. And so, I've always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I'm glad that we can be neighbors. And I was going through this and reflecting on some of the words that he had shared. He was an ordained Presbyterian Church USA pastor, and shared a lot about, what it means to live this greatest commandment, to love your neighbor as yourself, and to love God with all that you have and all that you are. And this particularly, as we've been talking about greatness and what makes something great. And for Christians, what makes something great is not always the same thing as what our society tells us makes something great. We tend to think of great being the biggest things, the most bombastic things that are huge and take center stage, main character things, not side story things. And yet our faith tells us that greatness is exhibited in service to others, that those who are the greatest are actually the best at humbling themselves. And this reflection from Mr. Rogers really spoke to that for me, and as well as what it means to love your neighbor as yourself. So I wanted to share it from this book with you. He says, a high school student wrote to me and asked, "What was the greatest event in American history?" The response was, "I can't say. However, I suspect that, like so many great events, it was something very simple and very quiet with little or no fanfare, such as someone forgiving someone else for a deep hurt that eventually changed the course of history. The really important, great things are never center stage of life's drama. They're always in the wings. That's why it's so essential for us to be mindful of the humble and the deep rather than the flashy and the superficial." So today, may we be mindful of the humble and the deep rather than the flashy and the superficial as we seek to be great by following the greatest commandment, to love God with all we have and all we are, and to love our neighbor as ourselves. Grace and peace.